welcome. You are listening to the Lama podcast. I'm Gunjan.
I'm Rajeev.
And I want to start with a story where Rajeev and I were doing creatives for his book, Conversations. And Rajeev, I very distinctly remember asking you this question when the statement came, don't take life so seriously that you forget to live.
Yeah, live it, yes.
Yes. So the story behind the statement, because I know you have seen all colors of life, and what happens at that moment that you are like, damn, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Just
Yeah, I
need a
remember the
story.
discussion, yes.
Yes, just need a story
So,
behind this quote that you gave. Don't take life so seriously that you forget to
forget to
live.
live it.
And
Yeah,
today's topic is the same. We will
same.
weave around this topic.
So first, before we go there, are you not convinced based on our discussion? Because I remember at that time you said no, we have to take it seriously. Let's start with that, and then we can talk about my opinion
Yes.
on it.
Yes. So, Rajiv, these things are very good to listen, very good to see, and difficult to observe. Yes, because I plan to retire at 60. If I live till 70, 10 more years after retirement, I can survive. What will happen after 70? If I don't plan now, being it house or retirement money or a
Mm,
good investment in annuity or anything like that, if I
mm.
don't plan now, how will I live after 70? And just running after money or just being a penny pincher. And I
Economic
don't
slave,
want,
yes.
yes, and I don't want that kind of a life. If I don't live, nothing like that. But if I live longer, then I really should have some kind of planning. And that's why we are working day and night hard so that we can have a better life then, which we don't know if we'll have or not. But still, we need to plan.
It's so yeah, I think you're still stuck in the same groove, and let's talk about it. Uh,
Absolutely.
so you see, when I made that statement, or when I make that statement, don't take life so seriously that you forget to live it. It is not about just throwing everything to the wind, throwing caution to the wind, and just going berserk about everything. Like ignoring your finances, ignoring your what is required to live. If you remember the conversation, I think we were there was a movie we were referring to, right? So some dialogue between um, so yeah, we can talk about that. But ultimately, the intent behind that my statement is that we should not get so attached to the nitty-gritties of life. Now, over planning, over security, everything. Yes, you have to make sure that you plan for your life. And retirement does not mean that you're not going to be bedridden. Retirement doesn't mean that you will have no source of income. You have planned, and you will continue to earn. You may do some side gigs. You may have investments. You manage your investments. So it is not, and this is where my problem is with all the time when I talk to people, that it is not that you have to be very serious about your life till 60, till you retire, or 70, whatever time you retire, and then you will have all the fun. I'm telling you, you will forget how to have fun.
I would totally agree. And here I would like to bring that dialect from the movie Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. Girl and boy, they go for a stroll, for a nice walk. And she asked that, you get a lot of satisfaction when you earn money. And he was like, yeah. And then he asked, do you have a boyfriend? And she said, no. I want something else from life. And people whom I like, they wanted something else from life. So we had a separate path. And I want person who enjoys the life. And then hero says that, yeah, that's the plan, that retire at 40. And then she's like, dude, do you really think you live till 40? And
Yeah,
it was a
based on the
very hard,
stresses you are taking. Yes.
it was a very hard hitting dialogue, but then it's good to say, good to listen, but can we actually implement it on the real life?
And that's where the challenge is. I'm not saying that the path of self-actualization is easy, or realization, whichever, how much longer you walk on this path is totally up to you. It is not easy. You have to remind yourself literally every moment. The but the see, the intent is that whatever you want to do, are you enjoying it or not? Even if, let's say, you're sucking up to your boss because you want to secure your, promotion or whatever, do it with enjoyment. So, be conscious about whatever that's what I mean by don't take it so seriously that you forget to live it. Live the moment in terms of, like we are doing the podcast right now.
Right.
It should be fun. It should not be that, hey, how many people will listen, or how many likes we will get, or what will happen. All that is irrelevant. That's the crux of the statement I made, and and I'm hoping that I will be able to convince it is not to do about giving up. It is not about giving control of your life to something or pausing anything. Who's stopping you from making money and also enjoy making money?
He said that he gets a lot of satisfaction. He, as in, I'm coming back to the dialect that we were talking about, that he gets a lot of satisfaction. And one dialogue that something emotional happened and he cried. And she said, did you ever cry bursting out of emotion when you got a paycheck? Anybody ever cried that bursting out of emotions?
Like, that the couplet I wrote, I think, some time ago. फिर सोचा तो हम आदतन मुस्कुराए, बहुत दिन हो गए हमें आंसू बहाए. So so we are actually so used to faking our life that we stop enjoying it. So what happens is then everything becomes a burden, and that's what I was trying to convey in that statement. That even if you're making money, it is not bad. Being rich is not bad, but enjoy being rich. I have seen people who may have billions in the bank, but they would still live the life of person who doesn't have that much of money. They call it humility or being humble. I call it being stupid. Why did you work so hard to just store the money in the bank and still fly economy class? So I really think that that's stupidity. That is faking it. You are actually being apologetic of the life you are living, the hard work you're doing, the whatever you're doing, to build that wealth or build that knowledge or everything.
When I hit my 40s and I changed my lifestyle, trust me, there were a lot of things, more than that. A lot of things that I used to ask myself, if not now, then when?
Yes.
Be it anything. And I was like, I have done everything, like how to save money, how to optimize, how to bring budget and everything. And then after one hard-hitting incident, I was like, if not now, then when? Ab nahi to kab? And I want this answer from you, Rajiv, as an industry leader, as our Rajiv Modest Nanda.
It's you've been saying that if people have not heard the pilot episode, they will lose the reference to why Gunjan keeps calling me or has put my middle name as Modest. So I would encourage the listeners to sample the pilot episode. But sorry, go ahead.
Yes. So what are the perils of taking life too seriously, and how excessive seriousness can lead to stress, burnout, and diminished sense of joy? Like, if you're eating something and it's good and everybody's like, oh my God, it is so amazing. Oh my God, it is so amazing. And you're like, yeah, it's normal. Like, what's so great about it? You lose that sense of joy.
Yes.
See that in groups, that you are enjoying food or enjoying drinks and they're like, yeah, it's just food. I have to fill my tummy, get the nutrients. And these are just drinks which will put me to sleep nicely. I'll be able to sleep peacefully. How do we go about this?
And that, you see, that's exactly what it is. That we when we talk about the postponing of quote unquote living life, almost everybody says, I'll do this when I retire, I'll do this when I retire. Or the problem is, who, like you said, the hard-hitting incidents, they are wake-up calls, but that are only momentarily. So I think in the in the earlier episode we talked about the experiences that I saw. Suddenly people having a stroke, or so we are just one breath away from death. So if you think about it, the only difference between life and death is one breath. You breathe in and you fail to breathe out, you're done. So the question is that when will that happen? Nobody will know. And this is, we plan for everything, we take it seriously. If I don't have so much money, or I will only do this if I have. So we have all these conditions around ourselves. And that's where, we take it so seriously rather than saying, okay, yes, let's say I'm earning 100 rupees. Who stops you from, saying, I will keep 5 rupees aside or 5% of my income for pure enjoyment, whatever I want to do.
And this is
You do that on a daily basis, on a weekly or monthly basis. So you have to live as you're also making your life or building your life. You start doing something different. We started this podcast literally after 1.5 years of deliberating. Oh, should we do? We were procrastinating.
Yes.
Now think about it. If we would have started then, we would have matured it by now, become much savvier, much better. But the journey started whenever it started. That's fine. The question is enjoying what you do. That's the fundamental thing about not taking life so seriously.
And I want to quote this. I met a friend and their parents were like retired and they wanted to go out, enjoy life, everything. But due to health issues, his mom, she cannot even drink more than 1 bottle of water in whole day because of some medical condition and what. And he said this thing that, I'll quote this in Hindi, कि भगवान का sense of humor बहुत अजीब है. जब वो चने देता है तो दांत नहीं देता. और जब दांत देता है तो छने छीन लेता है. So this is very true in our lives that
so it's very similar to, I remember a good friend of mine from Canada, Roger Molloy. He's a very good sense of humor, and I remember he was with us when I was with Intel, and there was some discussion around very similar lines, and we somebody made a statement of going to like Everest base camp or something like that. And the person said, the same thing, like, oh, I'm preparing myself, saving enough, and I want to do this world trip for 1 year and all that. So, he simply said, so do you plan to do that in a wheelchair? So, and the way he said what exactly what you're saying, the sense of humor is not of God, it is of our own, life. We keep postponing things that we want to do so much that we want to do it when we do not have the ability to do it anymore or enjoy it anymore.
How do we cultivate this kind of mindset?
Excellent question. I don't know. If I had figured it out, I would be.
And
friends, So, but here's what I keep reminding myself every time, that whatever I'm doing at the moment, am I enjoying it or not? And over the course of time, I either stop doing if I'm not enjoying it, or I see it as an opportunity to either learn something or do something new, or get a new perspective. So that way, at least, I enjoy the flow of life. But to be very frank, I think this is also very individual. The path we talk about self-actualization is very, very individualistic. What path is for you may or may not be for me or others. So I think each of us will have to find the answer to the question.
Yes, and I highly encourage our listeners, come to our website, do give us suggestions that how do we cultivate that kind of mindset. It will be an eye-opener for us, and we would like to learn from our listeners. There's another point that I want to touch here, Rajeev, that we talk about not taking life so seriously. There is one set of people who are called Mr. Miss Perfectionist. And I have seen people, the most screwed up life is of people who claim themselves to be perfectionists.
Oh, I still claim I'm a perfectionist. But yes, but I understand your sentiment. But there's I think we hide behind this term. It's a disguise of procrastination. That's what my opinion on, it has been, and I have formed this opinion over the last, few years.
And I want people to embrace imperfectionism.
Yes.
Those perfectionist people, I don't know about their lives, whatever it is, none of my business, but for sure they make others' life miserable.
Oh yeah.
For sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. You talk to my wife and my kids, yes. They will tell you stories about my OCD and obsessive compulsive disorder.
It's a
Like
compulsion.
cleanliness, hygiene, this and that. You like this is another form of trying to being perfect. But you're right. None of us are perfect, and actually, the beauty of life lies in these slight imperfections. There's a very good, old quote that somebody said that, खरे सोने से तो जवाहरात भी नहीं बनते. That means, with a 24 karat gold, you cannot even make any jewelry out of it. So there's no beauty in being so perfect that nothing can come out of it. So to even make jewelry out of gold or anything, you have to have slight bit of imperfection.
And I remember this quote, someone said that nobody is perfect till the time you're in love with that person. So
No, then you start changing that person.
then you start changing that person. That is
Yeah.
true. And then you complain that you're not what you were originally.
Yes, exactly.
So
Yes.
yes, we do want to embrace imperfectionism, and I don't know. I really don't know who's perfect, who's imperfect, and why do we need these labels?
Yes.
But enjoy who you are.
Yes.
Enjoy what you want to do,
Yes.
and
Yes.
life will
But
take
that, you
care.
see, and this is, I think, we have to make that subtle difference, because many times I have seen a lot of people taking it in the totally other extreme, saying that, I like who I am, but they don't understand who you really are. If, let's say, let's say I'm poor, and I take pride in my poverty, and I say I like being poor because now I don't have burden of managing money and all that. I would say, reflect on that. If you really enjoy being poor, then that's fine. But then you should not be comparing yourself or bitching about somebody else who has made more money, or talking about, hey, all the rich people are corrupt, or all that, making judgmental statements. That's where I think we have to understand the statement does not mean that you just go with the flow 100%, be a twig, like I said in my blog, and also not on the other extreme that you just become a rock and you forget to live it.
And here is, Rajiv, I want my audience to understand, our listeners to understand that chasing something is one thing and being disciplined is another thing. That is a very important aspect of life. You have to be disciplined in, be it hygiene, be it your waking up routine, health, everything. If elders have said early to bed, early to rise, it makes sense. If your body type is something that you are more vigilant and more productive at night, that's absolutely your body type.
Exactly.
Listen to yourself. However, for majority of the population, try practicing waking up at 5 a.m. Read this book 5 a.m. club. Yes. So these are certain things that we
but
need
you see,
to
that
practice.
goes back to taking it too seriously. See, this is where I want to actually balance it out. I understand the concept, what you're trying to say, but what happens is when we take these statements, then people, or actually we also start hanging our identity to these things, or our self-esteem, not identity, but self-esteem or self-confidence. So what happens is, let's say, if we instill in ourselves and say only people who rise early and sleep early are successful, that is the message we keep giving ourselves. So what happens is that we become miserable if we cannot follow that path, and then we take it so seriously that, hey, then you start punishing yourself mentally, that, hey, I obviously I'm not successful because I cannot follow this routine. But I'm saying that you listen to all this, but then before you apply, understand, is it relevant to you individually? If, like, for example, I'm not that kind of a morning person, although I rise reasonably early. But
what's your definition of morning person, Rajiv?
Yeah, like morning person means that if you try to talk to me before like 8 or 10 a.m., I'm very grumpy.
Okay.
So I'm not a morning person, so my mind starts working maybe around 10 a.m. or maybe a little later. But I'm very, most of the writings or whatever thing I do, intellectual work I do is in the evening or, later in the night. Not very late, but, later in the evening, I would say. So
Yeah.
that's a routine that, fits me, and I'm okay with that. And if somebody tells me that, hey, why don't you wake up early? I said, I can. I don't.
I tell people I'm neither a morning person nor a night person, and I need a nap in the afternoon so that I can be productive
You're a
in the
24 by
evening.
7 person.
And yes, I'm a 24/7 person also. But yes, if someone says that, can you wake up early? I'm like, it depends what time I sleep. And can you stay up late night? I'm like, it just depends how my day went. So it's not like there's a set routine. And I'm pretty creative in what I do. And I meet deadlines and I try to be
So
ahead of game.
exactly. So essentially, how seriously do you want to take all of these things and not live the life on a daily basis? That's the main thing that, we need to somehow learn how to live every day, because how we live every day is how we will live our life. People forget that. 10 years down the line, if you reflect back and you figure out the only thing you did was, 9 to 5 or 9 to 9 job, and you crashed out on the weekend. That's what you have created your life, and that's how it will continue. Because there's one thing that we have to understand: the law of nature is the momentum that we create. The moment, we are always taught to accelerate. We are never taught to decelerate in our life. So what that means is that, we start our, when we get into the working age, the only thing we talk about is, raises, promotions, more money, more this, more that. But then nobody tells us, okay, when to stop decelerating your vehicle or your life and start enjoying the scenery around you, or, start, or along with everything else, how do you also enjoy your life on a literally daily basis?
Trust me, Raji, when I say this, I enjoy Bangalore traffic. This is the time when I get with myself. I tell people I cannot attend phone calls because there are very poor signals. There's so many people on road. How will the signal go?
It's
Where
also
will it
risky.
go? And I'm in 5 km per hour taking meeting. There's no risk, trust me. But yes,
but you have to still pay attention to the traffic,
on
right?
the road. That is there. There are a lot of two-wheelers and pedestrians and everything. So I have started enjoying that traffic as well. So there are times when I reach office in 20 minutes. There are times when I reach office in 1 hour, 20 minutes. And I do not get irritated unless until there is something urgent and there is someone coming to my place or any urgent situations. That is when I get little antsy that I have to reach home early. Otherwise, I have started enjoying my traffic. I pause.
So you took remember we talked about it in one of the earlier podcasts. Good.
Yes.
I'm happy.
So yes, I enjoy it, and I want people to, and I really want people to think that how can we live in that moment?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what the crux is of the statement that I keep making. Whatever situation life throws at you, how do we cultivate the habit of enjoying that moment and coming out of it a happier person or peaceful person, whatever, not the worst of us, but a better of us.
Well, that was really an insightful talk, Rajiv, that we had today. And I
hope I convinced you now.
I'm already convinced. So
good.
My only concern is
because I remember discussing this like so many times that you had a very, very strong opposing opinion.
Yes, so that's what this podcast is all about, right? If we agree upon the same thing, that how will we build up that heat and energy, and how will we present both the points to our listeners, and then let them take a decision for themselves. Yes. And I would like to wrap today's episode and just tell the audience that life is a precious gift meant to be cherished and enjoyed. I want to end this at a lighter note for those who love to sleep. किस किस को पूछिए, किस किस को रोइए, आराम बड़ी चीज है, मुंह ढक के सोइए. Thank you so much for listening.
Yes.
Rajiv, any closing points from your side?
No, I think you wrapped it very well.
All right. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you.